How are we doing, guys, and welcome back to All East TV. It's Leeds 0, Arsenal 1, and it's post-match reaction from outside Ellen Road. You might just be able to see the West Stand just behind me there, or just to the side of me rather. Very disappointing today, not for the reasons that we were poor today. I thought we played really well, especially second half. We definitely deserved something from the game, but ultimately you've got to finish your chances. You've got to score goals at this level, and we've made one mistake defensively, and it's cost us the game ultimately, and it's just such a frustrating one, especially because we put in such a good performance. But if you look at the positives, it's the fact that we played top of the table today, and I think in the second half we've outplayed the top team in the league, and that's a very encouraging thing. But at the end of the day, it's the same theme again, where we've lost the game from a defensive error and not being able to take the opportunities that we did create, and very frustrating from that point of view. First half, I think, was a case of Arsenal had a lot of the ball in the first half, but didn't really break us down that much. We didn't press as much in that first half. It was a bit more of a mid-block, so to speak. We were trying to flood the midfield. We weren't really trying to high press Arsenal, and we contained them well. I don't really think Arsenal had that many opportunities in the first half. I did think Arsenal had another gear to their game today, but I think you have to give credit to ourselves. Arsenal weren't poor today. We made Arsenal look poor, and ourselves, I thought we looked really good at times. Sinistera, I thought, did really well against Ben White. So much so that I think Ben White comes off with sort of 15 minutes or so of the game to go, and we really tested Arsenal down that side of the pitch. On the right-hand side, I don't think things were really clicking on that side as much. I think obviously Aronson started on the right wing, then moved to the centre, then moved back out onto the right wing towards the end of the game, and we never really got things going on that side of the pitch. But all in all, we created enough on that left to really justify getting something from the game, and I'm really disappointed we didn't get anything from the game. But if we can put in it, it's a cliche. I know it's a cliche. I've said it a couple of times this season. If we can play anything like we did in that second half against Leicester, we beat Leicester for me. I do think we beat Leicester. I think I've seen enough there to say we can win that game. But can we put in a performance like that? It'll be a different type of game. We'll have a lot more of the ball. We'll have to break Leicester down. I don't think Leicester will play on the front foot as much as what Arsenal did today. And, I think we're good against these teams. We showed it against Chelsea. It was a similar level of performance in that second half to the Chelsea one, but ultimately we just weren't clinical enough. And there'll be criticism for Paddy Bamford tonight, no doubt about it. There will be criticism. But what I will say is that, once again, we look a better team with Paddy Bamford on the pitch. We definitely do. I mean, the first half was okay, but the second half went up another level. As soon as Paddy Bamford came on, within 2 minutes of the second half, he's won as a corner, he's won as a free kick, he's had a goal disallowed. But ultimately, he has to take those chances. He's had 3, possibly 4 really good opportunities today, and one of them is a penalty. The penalty's poor from Paddy's standards, really. The fact that you just have to keep it on target. Any penalty, you can't score a penalty unless you keep it on target. Again, another cliche. But just any kind of decent contact behind it, and just hope the keeper doesn't save it. But ultimately, he's rolled it wide, not a good connection, didn't really hit it with any conviction, and is ultimately where we are at this moment in time. I think I'm surprised we're struggling to score goals. I thought that'd be one thing we wouldn't struggle to do this season with the firepower that we've brought into the team, the firepower that we've always sort of had, and it's a bit frustrating in that respect, but we are creating the chances. We are creating the chances. I think the substitutions, I think we lost a bit of momentum when Jack Harrison came off, sort of with 15 or so to go. We didn't quite have that same level of threat. In terms of all round, a lot of it fell onto Sinistera, who also came off, which I was a bit disappointed with too. And I think ultimately we've done enough there today to get something from the game. And don't get me started with VAR. I mean, the delay on the game, it's just been a crazy game of football. I mean, we've had a half an hour delay, 40-minute delay, no communication to the ground at all. What's actually going on with the Premier League? It's just a joke, man. It's just an absolute joke. Second half, we get the penalty. I think it was a penalty, to be honest. The second penalty, or supposed penalty, I'm not as sure on. I didn't really see it clearly enough to have a clear opinion on it. I've not watched the replay on it either. But ultimately, we don't get that decision. But we've just got to find that clinical edge to our game now. It can't just be on Sinistera to score goals. We need output from the other players in that front four in terms of goals, not just assists, in terms of goals now. It's just so frustrating. But I do prefer that to what we had last week, where the second half we just completely capitulated. Today, I think we have really put in a decent performance, but ultimately just got to find a way of getting those goals again. And there is a bit of confidence about it. We know Paddy... Listen, it's nothing new that Paddy Bamford has missed a couple of chances. He's never been the most clinical. He's never been an Erling Haaland in terms of just burying chances, every single chance he gets. But it's about what he brings to the team. But ultimately, when he's on a confident run of form, you always feel like he's going to take his chances. But today, just didn't really feel like he had much conviction in front of goal. And that's a bit disappointing. But the performance was much better when Paddy Bamford came on. Again, in terms of other individual performances, I thought the midfield, once again, Adams and Rocker, I thought were superb in the second half. They ran the game in the second half, and the momentum was all with us. Yes, part of that is probably Arsenal going 1-0 up and wanting to protect that lead a little bit and letting us have a little bit more of the ball as they sit in. But I've got to be really happy with what I've seen there. Let us know what you think in the comments, guys. But I am happy, to be honest, with what I saw in that second half. Encouraged. We're not going to get too carried away with it because still it's the same recurring themes. The goal as well. I've not even mentioned the goal Arsenal score. I mean, listen, it's poor off Rodrigo. I don't know what Rodgers is trying to do. I don't know what pass he's seeing. He's trying to play a cross-fielder in his own half of the pitch. Arsenal have won it back. And you give the ball to Ødegaard in between the lines in the dangerous area. And he picks out Saka. It's a really good finish off Saka. I don't know how it was only a 1-0 game. A lot of chances either way. It was a good game of football. But, you saw it with the reaction at the end of the game as well. The lads were getting clapped off the pitch. We're still with this team. The players are clearly still fighting. There's no question about that. There's been a lot of talk about Marsh in recent weeks, but there's still a lot of fight. The players still believe in what we're doing. We just ultimately couldn't quite get it right in that final third. But more encouraging. I'm certainly more encouraged than where I was this time last week or maybe after the Villa game. But again, it's still nothing. We can't keep having the same story. Got to iron out these mistakes. Stop making the same mistakes as well. But yeah, we'll move on. My man of the match today is probably quite a tough one. I think Pascal had an absolutely unbelievable game at left back, to be honest. I'm not maybe on the goal. I've not seen the goal back, but I can't think of anything he's done wrong on the goal, despite it being his man who scored, Saka. He was superb again. Pascal, I think, has been outstanding at left back. I think Rasmus Christensen as well, I think, had a really good game against Martinelli. I don't think Martinelli really got anything from Christensen. And yeah, I think defensively we were better today, but just one individual lapse in concentration. But I thought we were better defensively against Palace as well. Just got to iron out those mistakes. It was like a Bielsa kind of championship game today in terms of we had lots of chances, lots of opportunities, but couldn't take them. And then obviously, Arsenal go up the other end and score. And, as soon as that penalty miss happened, it just never felt like it was going to be our day. It happens, but we're giving a really good account of ourselves against a team who I think will push for the title this season and showed their own quality at times. But, I think full credit to ourselves. Maybe the media narrative will be that Arsenal weren't quite fully at it today, but I think it was more a case of we were that good. We made Arsenal look a little bit average by their standards. I don't think Arsenal, I know they lost, obviously, at where. I don't think I've seen Arsenal have a bigger test than that all season from what I've seen in terms of the way we sort of put so much pressure on them in the second half. You saw the way the fans reacted at the end of the game. They know they've been in a real football match today, and we've got to show that spirit now. In the next two, it was always going to be the next two that were going to be the big games, Leicester and Fulham. We need 4 points, or at least 3. We need to be looking to win at least one of those games, just to ease off a bit of the pressure. You've seen how bunched up it's got at that bottom end of the table, one win can make a big difference. One bad week can make a big difference. So, got to keep our heads. It's been a poor last couple of weeks, but today was more encouraging. I'll leave it there, guys, anyway. Big thanks for watching from Ellen Road, just so you can see again. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button as well. And myself and Phil, we're doing a player ratings. Check out Tash's vlog, which will be out either later on today or tomorrow. And check it out, guys. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't done already, and smash that like button as well. It massively helps us. Leave it in the comments down below. Am I being too generous with Leeds today? Am I being too harsh? I don't know. I'm frustrated, but maybe for slightly different reasons to what I've been frustrated with earlier on this season. 10 games in, 10 points. We need to looking to do a little bit better than that for me. But we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching.